There we go. Now it works. All right, good. Welcome, everyone. We got that connection to work. So let's dive into day 21 of our 30-day abundance meditation challenge. Welcome, everyone. This is Nan Akasha here from nanakasha.com. And thank you for joining me. Congratulations if you have been doing this, following this daily. A massive change, I know, has happened in your life. We're doing a 30-day challenge in the Light Body School as well, and we're closing in on the end of it in just 4 days, and the transformations are phenomenal. I know for me, this has been an incredible blessing. Remember that when you join me, these are transformational meditations. So if you experience deep shifts, energy, seeing things as if you're living in a different world, light and colors and things being very bright after these meditations, that's not an accident and there's nothing wrong with you. These are designed to take you deep, to work on your energy field, your mind, your emotional body, your light body, all parts of you, while you reprogram your mind and free yourself from old beliefs about limitations that keep you from truly living happy, joyful, blissful, healthy, abundant lives. So we all know what we want. We all know that we're here for a reason, and maybe you're seeking that reason. Maybe you absolutely know what you're meant to do. Whatever you do in every day, if you align with the fact that you are indeed the creator of your reality, you are at the center of your reality, and if you can shift yourself and your mood, your emotions, your state, your rate, your state of consciousness, you will begin to understand why you are the creator of your reality. It's not something most of us were taught, and it's something by the time most people come around to looking at something like, you know what, I really want to be able to not be controlled by my emotions and not have people outside of me say something and have me react without thinking. I want to have more control, more say, more peace, more calm, more connection. The inner authority within you is the most important connection that you can make. The relationship you most need to work on could be the relationship you're working on the least. That relationship with yourself, with your inner authority, meaning your higher self, your I am presence, source, God, your angels, all different ways of feeling and experiencing and interacting with these energies. What's most important is you understand how to connect within. So today, we want to activate our abundance to another level. Yeah, every day a little more, right? Let's do it. And so we're going to really bring in some power. We're going to look at, tune into, and breathe in pyramid power. What does that mean? It's not some kind of like, woo, what a cool magical saying. Yes, it's cool and it's magical, but it's very, very real. So what I like about what I teach and what I put together in my school, my retreats, and for my clients is that I take a very, very practical approach to things that are very, very abstract. So things like your subtle bodies, your mind. Okay, you know you have a mind, you know you can get lost in it, you know you think. But have you ever talked about it as your body, your mental body, and thought about it as something that you could look at, clear, cleanse, redesign, reprogram, get rid of old beliefs and thoughts, rewire your mind? So you have different bodies. Everything is energy. There's quantum physics involved. There's science. There's psychology. Becoming a hypnotherapist is deep psychology. Becoming a healer in all different aspects, including a doctor of homeopathy, is studying vibration and frequency, but studying people. As a homeopath, you have to ask very deep questions and go deep. And what had happened was I began to put together all these different pieces that on the surface didn't connect and most people don't understand. from ancient mysteries like symbols and chants and gods and goddesses who embody certain energies. And why did people revere them? Why did they build pyramids? Why did they build temples? Why did they cover buildings with masks of a rain god, like in Uxmal in the Yucatan, where I'm going this week for my birthday? Woo! And we're going in March for the retreat. Why did they carve sacred symbols all over things? I know when I was growing up, I was taught that people back in the ancient days were not really as smart as us, and they were undeveloped and didn't have our intelligence and our technology. And, you know, this was a long time ago. This was before the internet and before calculators, okay? Before cell phones. So, I mean, really, really base this now, right? And what we were led to believe is that they were unsophisticated and inferior to us, and that they were superstitious, and that these carvings of gods or of symbols, or this building buildings and temples that align with the rising sun or the equinoxes, or the fact that they even tracked things like celestial movements and cycles of seasons, like the equinoxes and the solstices, just means that they were superstitious. You know, they'd have these dances and these parties, and they'd stay up all night under the moon, and they would give gifts to the earth and to spirit, or have, you know, Day of the Dead, where they, you know, honor people who've moved on. And all of it was really wrapped in looking down upon it. And then as I got older and I moved to Europe and I lived places that were very ancient and old and intricate and had meaning and had history, it became fascinating to me, the energies of cities like Florence, where I remembered as a child, I was there when I was about 10 or 9 with my parents, and I remember standing there and with my sister, and we're just looking around on the corner while my parents are looking at a map like stupid tourists, and they're trying to figure out, how do we get to the David? Where's the David? We need the museum with the David. I think it's this way. No, I think it's that way. I think you're holding the map upside down. Let's ask somebody. No, let's not ask somebody, right? The usual family discussion. And I just looked up at them without even thinking, and I said, it's just that way. I said, you go about 2 blocks and then you turn left and you go maybe 4 blocks down. And they just looked at me like, okay, that was weird, but whatever. And they kept asking and they kept talking. I told them a couple of times. They finally asked somebody who told them the same thing I did. They looked at me odd, and we moved on, and it was never discussed. I didn't think anything of it either. But the entire time we were in Florence, I always knew where certain older buildings were. And it didn't occur to me till decades later that obviously I had what we call a past life. It's a parallel life. All things are happening at once, exist at once, all potentials, all experience are existing in the same moment, but we'll call it a past life for ease. And other things that would happen to me through growing up. How about you? Have you had situations like that where you had weird memories or weird visions, or maybe your children did? Well, what you're tapping into is consciousness. And as mystical and magical as it can seem and sound, and all the ways that wisdom, just simple truth and knowledge of who we are and how life works here on this planet and in form, and that we are these divine beings that, you know, are in forms, and there's so much wisdom that wanted to be passed down, but it had to be encoded, because the ancients were actually incredibly sophisticated, in many cases far more sophisticated than we are now. They knew how to do technology beyond our imagining, and they knew how to use natural things like the crystals in the earth. So another one we're going to do this week is to amplify with crystals meditation. And they knew, we use crystals, and I don't know what they use them in anymore, but I think they used to use them in speakers or radios or transmitters or computers or all kinds of things. So it's not just a new age belief that crystals are magic. It's science. Everything can be measured fairly well now. Not everything. Many energies can be measured now. Things we can't see, colors we can't see, can be measured fairly well now, so that we can at least educate our mind. There's things that we can't see. We have, when you look at the spectrum of light, our visible light to us in our bodies with our physical eyes is this teeny tiny little strip in the middle of this vast range. So what does that mean? That means that there's a lot going on that we can't see. And then you begin to feel it. You have a sensation inside of you. You trust your gut, or you get your intuition. Perhaps you have visions or mystical experiences where you feel like you were expanded and floated up out of your body and just felt love. Or this happened to me in a place called the lightning field. The first time I did a hypnosis session, I felt like I blew up like a huge Macy Days balloon, sitting there in my chair. It was very hard for my friend to get me to relax, to go into trance. She kept doing it over and over and over. And then suddenly we all got very quiet, and everyone could feel something was happening. And she said, "What's happening?" And I said, "I'm becoming big like a balloon." But my physical body was still sitting there in the chair, was still sitting there looking like my physical body. It's just this bigger body of me expanded. And then I just started to float up like a balloon, really gentle, with no effort. I didn't think about it. I was simply watching and being in the experience. And as I floated up, it was just like what you read sometimes, that I could look down on the room and I saw my body and sitting in my chair, and like the 5 friends sitting in a circle around me, all in their chairs. And I floated up out of the house, and I could see out across the field, and I could see the house getting smaller and smaller, but we were out literally in the middle of nowhere. Like you couldn't see another building for many, many miles in New Mexico. And then it just became black. And I floated through blackness, not dark, bad, evil blackness, just peaceful darkness. And I was going up by my back. I felt like how a cat carries a baby, sort of from the neck, but it was like a magnetic field was pulling me. A magnet was just pulling me by my back, and I was just floating, hanging like you would if you were in water, right? Just loose, and I didn't move. And finally the movement stopped, and I was in light. It was just light, and I felt more love than I'd ever felt. There's no words for that kind of love, because that love is divine love. It's love beyond words. It's not love, "Oh, I love the color pink, I love my honey bunny." It's completely different. And if you've touched it or you've felt it in any way, you know what I mean. And I just stayed there for a while, just surrounded with this love. And it felt like someone was behind me. And it felt like they were surrounding me with their arms or their wings, but I had no visual of it. It just felt like a presence was standing behind me, very similar to the way a body of a person would, and then these very big enveloping arms around me. Now, my friend, who had just finished her hypnosis course, and that's why we were doing this, was she asked if she could try it on someone, asked me to turn around. She said, "Who is it that's there?" I said, "I don't know." She said, "Turn around and look." And I couldn't. In that state, either I wasn't practiced enough, because this was a new experience for me. Now, this is not an uncommon experience, not exactly in this way, but this is what I teach. And what we do is to be able to sense and direct your energies and move yourself through time and space into other different states and dimensions to be able to become happy when you're angry, or to let go of guilt and shame and start living in acceptance, So that's simply what that means. And I couldn't see anything. I tried over and over to turn, but it just felt I couldn't see anything, or as if I couldn't turn around. And I just stayed in that blissful love for a very long time. And then down I came, down into the place and the chair and the house. And the same way I saw it as I came back down, suddenly I sort of left the light and went through the dark. And then I began to see this vast expanse of nature in New Mexico, and the house, and then the room and the people in the chairs, and then I landed back in my body. And so that was an experience that transformed my life, and I didn't have any idea I was going to share that with you today. That's one of my favorite things about learning your light body, learning energy, being able to move it, is that I can be in the moment, and whatever is optimal to come through for all of us today came through. And so that's going to be sort of our premise, I guess, from maybe where we'll move today. The power of pyramids is the same thing. When I first started to learn about concepts like crystals have energy and you can program and heal with them, it sounded like a fantasy to me. When I first started to meditate, I couldn't see anything, feel anything. I didn't get visions, and I just sort of would feel a little more peaceful. Mostly I became aware of how busy my mind was, which is most common. Back then there weren't these guided meditations like I do and many people do. There was only just sit and stare at a flame, or sit and focus on your breath, right? And it was very difficult to do that because we all have very, very busy minds, and we have very, very busy inner mental bodies right now in this world. Give me a second here to get a sip of water. And the first time I heard about the idea of reincarnation felt like a fantasy. My parents weren't very religious, but I was raised Christian. I was raised Lutheran. Didn't go to church much. And then I would find all these different concepts more and more and more. And I would find them completely mind-boggling. That couldn't possibly be true. But I kept reading, and I kept meditating, and I kept trying books that said how to talk to your angels and all these different things. And little by little, things shifted, and I began to work with animals and do healing work. And I met an animal communicator. And that took it to a new level, because I watched someone sit there and tell you what the animal was thinking and feeling and saying. And then I began to study radionics, which is energy, the deepest form of energy work, everything as just numbers or geometry and a frequency, which is now what all the new light technology is being built on, is frequency to heal, frequency to assess what's wrong, frequency to adjust it. And this opened my eyes and opened me to, I saw somebody, I watched it, I experienced it, I felt it, it was real for me. I started going to a channel and watching from the back of the room, very suspicious. Okay, where are the strings to the puppet? Is this fake? But I kept going. And slowly I stopped crossing my arms across my heart in a challenging, you can't tell me this is true way. And I started putting my hands in my lap and being a little more open, until one day during a break, this woman who was channeling this being named Banu, New Mexico. She's still there. She's wonderful, Karen. She's a little lady, but she was still, we were in a bookstore, and so I was looking at some cards, and she walked up behind me, but she was still channeling during the break. And I turned around just terrified because I still wasn't certain I wanted to, interact or anyone to see me. And looked in my eyes and said, "You need to know you're never alone." And I burst into tears. And that's another whole story, but that's one of my core inner fears that I brought with me in this lifetime to heal. Not being alone. I can travel alone across the world. I can be alone at night. I can do anything alone. I've gone to movies alone. I don't mind being alone. It's that deep sense of soul that you are alone, that no one cares, that you're lost, that there's no connection back to truth and source. And so it's the personal experiences, step by step, that truly change your opportunity, your ability to shift who you are, and to take it from, I wonder if that's true, or that can't be true, and I'm not going to let it be true, to, well, maybe it's true, to, I don't know if it's true, but I'm going to try it anyway. And when you have your own personal experience, you can't argue with it. So for me, when I had these experiences, they began to be quantum leaps, we call them. When I went from one state of being, one state of belief, one way of seeing and creating my reality, to a whole new one very, very quickly. This also happens to you when traumatic things happen. So my daughter died, and I can promise you in that moment, a ton of beliefs died, and a ton of new ones were created. In reality, none of this is good or bad. We have learned to judge everything, especially ourselves, our results, our actions, our house, our car, our body, everything, as good or bad in some scale of it. Against what? What scale? You're unique. There's no one like you. How can anybody have a scale for you to measure yourself against? Because you're not supposed to be like your mom or your dad, your employer, or your best friend. You're supposed to be you. Oh my goodness, sir. I thought I muted myself. I so apologize. You're supposed to be you, and you're supposed to be you, and so you're creating the template of you. There is no norm. Now there's people who have mastered a skill, excellent horsemen who can ride horses and jump or play basketball or do accounting or, all these specialized skills. But those are all learnable and programmable within your body and your mind and your brain. So abundance is you activating the fullness of you, going on your journey, seeking your bliss the way I did. Through the pain, seek the peace. Through the peace, seek the gratitude. Through the gratitude, I don't know if we have the scale, we don't, okay. Through the gratitude, seek enlightenment. Enlightenment doesn't mean that you suddenly turn to dust and look like a fairy or an angel and disappear. You stay here. There's many, many, many layers and levels of transformation. So this pyramid that I'm standing on top of here is called Koba, and it's the tallest Mayan pyramid, apparently. You can still climb it. Wahoo! Most of them you can't. And we get permission to go up there at dawn, and it's surrounded by jungle, as you can see. It is exquisite to go there when the sun isn't even up. And we take these Mayan taxis because it's quite a long distance into the jungle from the parking lot. And it's this man on a bike, and two of you at times sit on this little cart, and he is riding through the Sakbe, which are these roads that the Maya made in their villages and between very far away cities. And their roads, they're called white roads because they glowed and at night. They were made from a stone that you could walk and find your way at night with no lights because they glowed. And you go along and you feel and hear all the life in the jungle and the birds, and there's mist in the trees, and we get to the bottom and we begin to climb, and we tune in and become aware that every step of this 9-step Mayan pyramid represents something and was honored for that and was used for sacred ceremony. So these stones are infused with that sacred energy. And there was a purpose for the pyramid. It was built to represent the pathway back to enlightenment, to source, to unity, to you. It represented each step of evolution, which we have gone through, and we are now ready to be on the top. Unity, consciousness, back again to where we create our reality consciously, where we rejuvenate our bodies consciously, where we only change bodies when we want to. We are moving back to that. And what that means is we live in the moment when ancient wisdom is now being awakened in these sacred sites, in the land, all over the planet, in the crystals, in the ground, in the waters. All these parts of Gaia, the earth, hold wisdom. They've been here for gazillions of years. And they are conscious. They're made of light and energy just like we are. And they have information, and they can communicate, and they carry what we call key codes. So as we travel to these pyramids today, I'm going to show you image after image of all kinds of different pyramid sites. I want you to feel and open yourself to receive the key codes that are in these sacred sites. What does that mean? Your DNA is not static. It's proven now by science that you're not born with your DNA and too bad, there you go. Your DNA actually has so much information in it that you're barely using any of it. And what is open or turned on, the switches that are flipped on, are simply the ones that are flipped on. It's because it's what you came in to do. It's what you were programmed by your family, and you're conditioned by your society, and everything else that's happened to you has flipped on these DNA switches. But if you don't like your life right now, if you want something different, something more in your love life, in your health life, if you want to know your purpose, if you want to work for yourself, if you want to get a different job, if you want to have a different relationship with love, if you want to, whatever it is your heart is calling you to do, that means your soul is calling you to do it. And all around you is the field of abundance, in form and without. The subtle fields of your mind and your emotions and beyond, and the physical fields of structures like pyramids and jungles and living, breathing trees and jaguars and birds and all of the things. So you are an energy being, and all of the energy around you is communicating with you. Pyramids were built to be power generators. When you stand on the top of a pyramid, you are standing in one of the most sacred and powerful places on the planet. You are standing inside of a pillar of light that even now still has power. Most of the pyramids don't have the power they had when they were built. They were built by the ancients for many reasons. One was to communicate with each other around the planet instantly, just like the internet now. Two was to keep a shield, a power, a grid of energy from the vortexes of power, to raise the vibration, to keep everyone on the planet at a high frequency. That means up in happiness, joy, peace, acceptance, bliss, gratitude, not guilt, shame, anger, desire, and all that crap, right? It was designed to support every living thing on the planet with a high frequency bubble, essentially. It was built to remind you of who you were. At the top of these Mayan pyramids, there's a temple of the descending God. That's you and me. It's a man upside down, coming down. We descended from source, from all that is, from being just oneness into saying, I want to experience form. I want to experience. And from that, step by step, your soul, you created this grids of light through your desires of what you want to experience, what you want to become, what you want to let go of. And your soul has been having so many experiences that you've carried stuff with you. You brought in fears. You brought in beliefs. You brought in limitations. You brought in passions. Some of them you know about, some you haven't even been turned on. Today, some of these pyramids are going to trigger your soul triggers, turn your DNA, flip your switch, and remind you of who you are. Today, you're going to be open and receptive to receive exactly what you most need to truly quantum leap and embrace the power of pyramids in your personal growth. That means you're going to expand to a new level of consciousness and become more aligned with your flow and the field of abundance. So our March retreat is all about abundance. And that's one of the reasons we're doing abundance now. And we're going to be doing abundance activations all the way up to it. It's about awakening the inner seer. The pyramid is called the pyramid of the magician or the seer or the foreteller, which was the person who was sophisticated enough to read layer and layer and layer of the Mayan calendar, all of these different cycles, read all of these different energies, not just days and nights and seasons. They prophesized, they knew exactly what was going to happen. They saw where they were and they saw where we are now. They knew that over all this time up to where we are right now, they could see exactly what would evolve, that the energies would shift and change, and each step of the pyramid represents that. So as you look at these pyramids today and you breathe them in through your eyes and your breath, take in the understanding of the power of the meaning, the power that they represent, the power that they're sending out, the connection, the collective consciousness, the healing, the evolution, and agree to unhook and detach yourself at each level from anything you still have attached. So as you climb these pyramids physically, mentally, energetically, spiritually, you are ascending to higher levels of consciousness. That means you are becoming aware of more of your senses, more of your powers, more of who you are. It means that you are opening and awakening to these energies, and that's how you create. You must pay attention to how you speak to yourself. Not just if you say mean things or nice things, that's very important. But you must pay attention to how you describe things, because that's telling you something. I feel stuck. I feel like I'm dragging a 10-ton weight. It's what I used to say about my ex-husband. I feel like I'm trying to climb Mount Everest, create a business, change myself, learn all this spiritual stuff, raise 2 children, and drag this 10-ton weight with me up a hill. That tells you something. It's very descriptive. It says not good. Pay attention, do something about it. It feels like I have a big tar blob in my belly or in my sacral chakra, right? Your energy center somewhere in here. Every time someone criticizes you, or you feel like speaking up, or you get pulsations and heat coming from your heart every time XYZ happens. All of this is communication. Energy is speaking all the time to you every second, not just people who speak English or your language are speaking to you. So you're going to have an awakening of your senses today. And if you want to join us, please come, blissliferetreats.com. My name is Nana Akasha, and my clients call me Fairy Godmother because I guess, frankly, at this point, I do the same thing that I did with myself, which was constantly ask, how can I create my reality? Who am I? How do I go underneath that? Where is the place that it's easier and faster to make the shifts that I want to make, to create peace every day, to live in abundance and flow, to love myself? We don't want struggle. We don't want pain. So let's let it go and let the power of the pyramids purify and amplify the passion in our souls and our true blueprint, what we're really meant to do. So here's the pyramid of the magician. We're going to start with this one to breathe in our powerful pyramid meditation today. So I'm so excited. I'm going back here in a couple of days. This was a month or two ago when we went to first connect with the site and the land, with the beautiful structures and the exquisite energy in these sacred places. This is the one that's called the Pyramid of the Magician. So the beautiful thing about digital photography is it captures the energy and the essence. So as you look at this, this is beaming energy out to you from this actual place. The sky and the clouds, the carvings of the chalk rain god masks all the way up the stairs and covering the first door, all the spirals, and all of the power. This is a massive, powerful pyramid. Tune in and feel the magnetic power coming from this pyramid, pulsing, pulsing, pulsing. We took videos of this pyramid and they show waves of magnetic energy going across them. You can feel this is solid, and there is a massive vortex of energy around it going up in the opposite direction, as if the pyramid, the top of the pyramid was at the bottom and it's opening up like a cone. When you go above this pyramid, you see and feel this enormous vortex of energy spiraling down, down, down through the pyramid to the base. From the top of this pyramid is a very powerful, dense beam of light. Just see and open to what you feel as I'm taking you on a tour of these incredible places. This beam of light is coming from deep, deep in the earth, underneath the pyramid. All pyramids are built on power vortexes, power spots, often with very unusual and unique makeup in the ground, perhaps in the way that the water moved under it in a rain, like in the Great Pyramid in Egypt. So this beam of light is a combination of the power of this land and the power vortex in the earth, the structure itself, built on sacred geometry, aligned with the celestial movements and special events, built consciously with specific numbers of stairs, levels, layers, representing our bodies, our truth, our connection back. Feel this. And now begin to climb the stairs of this pyramid. Step by step, feel yourself climbing, feeling the stone, beginning to feel the presence of those around you who use this place with reverence, magic, love, under the stars, under the sun, daily and in special events. You feel the movement of sacred ritual gatherings, beautiful healings, heart openings. As you climb step by step, you feel and sense you are reclaiming a part of you. Key codes are moving into your DNA, whispering, remember, remember. The chalk rain god masks representing abundant flow. Beam light around you, and as you get higher and higher and come closer and closer to this door, you feel and see yourself expanding with the energy. You feel that the energy raises and gets lighter as you rise up the pyramid. Reach this doorway and stand in front of it. Look out from this, not in. Look out. Look out across the structures, across the jungles. Look out across the ages and the times. See all times existing now, the different peoples, the headdresses, the gowns, the copal smoke, the chanting, the music, the celebrations, the silent meditations and vigils overnight. All of those moments exist right now and right here in the abundant now. Feeling yourself connected to this pyramid solid underneath you. It has lasted all through these times. Still here, still beaming. You feel that beam of energy coming up from it. I'm ready and willing and open and receptive to tap into the ancient power and communication of pyramids. I'm ready to become one with the golden age, moving into the golden period where the wisdom of Atlantis awakens within me, within these ancient pyramids in Mexico, China, in Egypt, and all across the land. Standing at the top of this Mayan pyramid, you feel the connection to the pyramids in ancient Atlantis at the bottom of the oceans. You feel the beam connections to the pyramids in Jamaica, Cuba, underwater in China and Japan and all around the world. You feel the connection and the beam of light going from you now, from your crown, one with this powerful pyramid, Uxmal, going out to the pyramids in Egypt, across countries and lands. Pyramids are everywhere. You see the grids light up across the planet. I am one. We are one. Standing at the top of this beautiful pyramid, you feel the carvings, the spirals, the DNA spirals. You see the carvings of the people that came down to build them, of the flower of life, sacred geometry, symbols all around you come to life. You can see them and read them. You understand them. They beam with energies. You move them with your mind and your hands. You put your hands in the air and you feel the power coming through you. The power of light languages. A song comes up within your heart. You feel and see the hum of this power. Vroom, 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 awakening your palms, your heart, your mind. I am one with this light. I am one with every pyramid on planet Earth. And now you see and feel the sun ignite a light within you. And you feel yourself relaxing. All of this pyramid becoming one with you. You feel each part, each layer, each carving, each side opening to you like a puzzle, like a maze. Within there are all these chambers, within there are all these places to find the truth, to connect to your key codes. And not only did you come here to be given and gifted with key codes, you brought some with you. You carry something within you, in your unique DNA, in your unique spiritual makeup, in your unique soul's plan and path and skills. That as you let the power of the pyramid bathe you and burn away any perception that you're a small being struggling in the world with no solutions or limited power, with a short lifespan. You are an abundant, enormous being with powers of all energies of creation and destruction. You are the creator of this reality and your reality. I am ready and willing to create with passion and purpose, to understand and to know who I am. And you enter the doorway. You enter the doorway, and this is the chamber of the inner seer, of the inner eye, of the ajna, third eye chakra. As you enter this chamber, you realize that the light in here is different. The beam of light, yes, is coming up from deep in the earth through the whole chamber, all around you, but inside of it, there is a beautiful and exquisite jewel. It looks like an enormous eye, and as you approach it, it begins to beam light. You feel it connecting to your pineal, and you feel it opening and pulsing. Your whole inner eye begins to pulse with it. This is a key code you have been looking for, you have been waiting for. Welcome. We are so glad you're here. An opening, an awakening, a color, a light, or a vision opens in your inner eye, and you see with new clarity. Oh, I understand. I see. I see. Pulsing. This new light is now generating from within your forehead. And the light in the room changes, and you see a stairway appear. As you climb the stairway, leaving this chamber behind, you feel the energy of the pyramids that have sunk, the cities that still exist and still beam their light, their wisdom, their communication, their connection connecting with you. You wind up this staircase slowly. It is glass, and around you it feels like water. Crystal looks like ice and then water. And you feel and see all of the waters of the world that contain pyramids. Pour this power and wisdom and awaken within you a new level of wisdom. You emerge at the top of this staircase on the top of a completely different pyramid. And you realize now the pyramids are connected not just with beams of light, but with portals, so that travel between countries, between places on earth, can be achieved by those who had studied the sacred energies and understood the wisdoms and came from their heart. You look out from the top of the ancient Mujil pyramid, Chunashe. You feel the sacred Mayan place dedicated to the sacred Mayan tree of life, the Ceiba. It has a pulse to it completely different than the pyramid of the inner seer. And your newly awakened inner eye looks across the jungle and out over the lagoons, the pure water lagoons. You see dolphins and manatees in the exquisite turquoise waters speak to you. You tune into this trunk, this pyramid, this wide trunk. The ceiba tree is hollow, and it grows over caverns with sacred waters. You feel the light coming up through this pyramid to you, connected to the cenote beneath, deep in the limestone, the ancient seabed beneath the pyramid. A beautiful, exquisite cave of pure waters and stalactites beams its divine energy and essence up, 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 and you feel yourself bathed in it. The wisdom of the Ceiba, the tree of life, begins to grow within you. You understand the eternal nature of who you are, and that abundance just is. There is no lack. There is a cycle. There is a rhythm. There is a polarity. There is a duality. But underneath it at all times is a sacred cave of light, a sacred place holding the wisdoms. You feel bathed in this exquisite water. Your skin softly caressed. You feel it going in. And you feel your DNA, the key codes from this sacred pyramid, flipping switches. You feel this pyramid breathing and living all around you. You feel the key codes awakening within you, a new knowledge and understanding of who I am. You feel awakening within your hands and your skin and your mind. This exquisite tingling, and a message rises up. Listen, listen, listen. Listen to the message this place, this lagoon, this land, this sacred waters, this ancient Mayan wisdom holds for you. Let it awaken within you a new message, a new understanding. Listen, listen, listen. This message that comes to you brings clarity, clarity to who you are and why you're here. Allowing this new message to come. Now breathe in from the jungle all around the sacred Mayan site. And breathe in a message from the jaguar, from the Quetzalcoatl. The birds are singing, and all the life here brings a rejuvenation to your abundant flow and your new message. You now realize that you're standing in a chamber at the top of this pyramid, and you look and see a carving of the ancient Egyptian god Thoth. Thoth, carved in a Mayan pyramid. Thoth was also Kukulkan, the feathered serpent of the Mayans. And you begin to feel an energy moving to you from this carving of Thoth. And you realize this is a portal to Egypt. Slowly you feel yourself moving, and now you appear in Egypt on the Giza Plateau. The pyramids around you, the Sphinx, everything glowing in the sun. You immediately feel and sense the strength and power of this plateau. You see and feel energy pouring off of the pyramids and out the tips. From small to big, you feel the strength and the power. Welcome home. Welcome home. Feel yourself flying over these, going to the one that draws you most, that makes you feel a sense of familiarity. As you get closer and closer, you feel the energy pouring off of it. You feel key codes flipping and switching inside of you in spontaneous waves as the energy wafts up from this gorgeous configuration laid out in a Fibonacci spiral, the sacred geometry of the layout of the pyramids and the power of the land underneath. You feel and see the pulsing beams of light coming from the tip of every single one of these. You find yourself inside the king's chamber of the Great Pyramid. You lay down inside the so-called sarcophagus. The shafts of light, the alignment, the entire structure of this amazing ascension chamber are all focused on this place you now lie. The energies get stronger and stronger. You feel yourself leaving the pyramid, connecting to Orion. You've reclaimed a truth, a secret to your abundance. You feel yourself now moving and landing on top of the Black Star Jaguar pyramid. You look out across the jungle and you see the rains. You smell the fresh, vibrant life all around you. And you feel and see the Black Star Jaguar spirit guide all around you. Standing at the top of this sacred pyramid where the altar of the Black Star Jaguar, the mouth, the cavern, the chamber of transformation, of reclaiming another level of your inner vision. You feel the pulse coming from the inner chamber of this. You see and feel the jaguar moving her way up the stairs towards you. Step by step, she comes to the top and joins you in the beam of light. You sit face to face, eye to eye. You feel her purr, frequency coming to you, awakening something in your heart, something in your throat. The purr relaxes you, and she looks deep into your eyes, those exquisite ice blue eyes. You feel a warmth. Oh, there I am. There I am. She whispers to you now a special message. You feel her gift of night vision awaken inside of your inner eye. The ability to see through the dark, through shadows, through fear, to see and find your own truth inside your own fears, your own doubt, your own shame, your own guilt, to find your way always connected to the earth and the stars. You feel now, I am the pillar of light between the constellations and the earth. And again, you feel this pyramid powerful underneath you. And it begins to open a new portal. You find yourself in Koba, on top of the tallest Mayan pyramid in the jungle. All around you, the sounds of the birds, the butterflies and dragonflies spinning above you. Behind you, the temple of the descending God, the place you came to when you first entered the world. And then you descended this exquisite pyramid to experience life on earth. And you appreciated and enjoyed the abundance, the tastes, the flavors, the experiences, the sensations, the waters, the nature, the people, the love. You feel awakening within you a new sense of unity, of connection to the ancients and to all of us here now. You look out across this vast sea of green and feel that you are one with all, and so small and so large, so powerful and so vulnerable. You feel the sensation of the vision chamber within this sacred pyramid. It begins to open and you sink down into it. Your fairy of godmother stays on the top, blowing bubbles of light, inviting in the worlds of light, the guides of light, the eye, the fairies, the elementals, the ancients, the sages. They all gather on the top of this pyramid as you lay down on a slab of obsidian, exquisite black stone in the vision chamber. Above you, visions like a hologram begin to appear as you feel this obsidian stone underneath you, drawing from you all dark energies, all negative energies, all unserving energies, all entities and energies that are not yours, continuing to remove from you trauma, shock, stress, and beginning to infuse you with protection, and healing. The visions continue above you. Receive now the message of this sacred chamber. What is the key to my abundance? Declare you're ready and willing to receive the key codes of your abundance. And then watch, listen, and receive. As the visions above you keep shifting and changing, you feel them now coming down to you, becoming one with you. And you begin to get lighter and lighter and lighter. You feel yourself expanding like a big balloon, and you begin to rise up from this vision chamber, up, up, up to the top of the Koba pyramid. Up here, surrounded by all of us, the guides and guardians of Atlantis, the elementals and all of the kingdoms of Gaia, the fairies, the bubbles all around you begin to form an even bigger bubble, and it begins to lift you up and carry you out over more pyramids in Koba. You float in a bubble over this sacred school, and you look down and see and feel the energies bathing you, reminding you of the sacred wisdom and knowledge you have of medicine, magic, energy, knowledge, wisdom, technology. Awaken, awaken, awaken. You fly and float in your bubble of light over this pyramid, another one in Koba, and you feel the sacred energies here as people came here in deep reverence. Gratitude, gratitude, gratitude pours up into you and lifts you up and enlightens you more and more. You float now in your bubble out over the jungle towards the sea. Moving towards the Caribbean Sea, you see the site of Tulum, the pyramid perched on the cliff, the winds blowing. You float down, down, down. You see the temples of the wind god and the descending god. And you float gently towards the Great Pyramid. Landing here, you feel your heart connect back to this sacred land, to the exquisite winds, to the ocean, and you feel your throat begin to open. This sacred Mayan site for the throat chakra awakens within you the key codes for full expression, for purification, for all of the things that your thyroid does, the throat chakra, the key codes for who you are, how to say it, how to express it, how to Ask for it. Awaken now within you. From the top of this exquisite pyramid, you see the temple of the wind god, the ocean, the clouds. You feel nature all around you. And up, 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 from within here, a new voice begins to awaken. I'm ready and willing to free my message, to know my purpose, to speak my truth, to gift, love, heal, enlighten, to uplift, free, and empower with my throat, with my voice, with my word. With every bit of growing energy, you feel your throat pulsing and you feel the wind around you. And you feel the entire site of this pyramid lifting up your message and carrying it away across the oceans, down into the oceans, to the pyramids, awakening your message, unite, unify, oneness, unity. We are one. We are ready and willing to reconnect with the power of the pyramid, the wisdom of the ancients. Out, your message goes. Egypt, Japan, all the countries, everywhere. And now it soars back towards you, having picked up and connected to every other pyramid. Coming back to you bigger and stronger. 1, 2, 3. You receive your very own message, your very own love, your very own wisdom. Feel it moving through your body and relax. Coming back into this moment, back into your body. The power of the pyramids have reminded you, you know it's time to discover these ancient powers that you have forgotten. Close your eyes and relax, feeling the shifts, the vibrations, the frequencies, the connection to all of these powerful pyramids and spots, to these vortexes. Feel your DNA awakening in your mind and your emotions in your body. I am that I am, and I remember. I'm ready and willing to allow my key codes to awaken and to integrate them. I'm ready to live a new abundant life, connected to the wisdom of the ancients, of the earth, of the elements, of symbols and pyramids. So feel and see yourself coming down to your body in that bubble, like a big light, coming down into the room, floating down over your body, beginning to enter your mind, your head, your throat, your shoulders, your arms, Begin to move your body as if you're putting clothes on. You're fitting into this new you. Down your heart anchors your spine. The lines down into your legs, anchor into your pelvis. Move your hips, move your legs, rub your knees down into your feet. Begin to move your feet and wiggle your toes. Put your hands together and rub them together. I am this new power. I am the connected grid of power of the pyramids. I am the wisdom of the ancients. And I bring it all into the now. And I bring it into my day. And I integrate it into my body and my mind and my spirit. And so it is. I am that I am. 3, 2, 1. Throw your hands in the air. Feel the light and the energy pouring from your palms out, out, out into the world. And you're now sharing what you've received and become in your consistent and open connection to this pyramid power. And now put them on your heart and beam that to you. Run your hands up your arms, beaming this light into them. Hug yourself and now tap your forehead. I am the connection to the inner seer. I allow my awakening to abundance to happen. Go up onto your crown now, back and forth, around the whole top of your head. Tapping with all of your fingers like they're running. Faster, 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 faster. And relax. I am that I am, and I accept this renewal and rejuvenation. Feel the tingling. Feel how alive you are. Yes, yes, yes. I know it's time, and I have embraced this moment. I now allow my inner wisdom to connect to my conscious mind and allow me to discover, to follow, to listen the ancient powers that I possess. Relax and take your time to come back into your body, to come back into this moment. Take time to be with this energy as long as you can, anchoring it, acknowledging it, noticing it, feeling it, labeling it, describing it. Write it down or speak it into your phone so you can come back here any moment you want to and reconnect to this power. Now go into your day and take this power you've been given, this connection to these sacred places. Take this gratitude that's coming to you from Gaia, from Earth, from me, from all the beings that are, for helping to reconnect us back to oneness and back to our heart and back to our wisdom. See where you can bring this power into your life, where you can gift it, where you can awaken, where you can release, where you can love yourself. Live an abundant day today. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. This sacred circle is open yet unbroken. We give great thanks for all of this opportunity, this moment, for this journey, for each of these places, for the wisdom, the knowledge, the symbols, the love, the activation, the shifts, and the abundant flow. We give great thanks to ourselves, to our bodies, to our minds, to our emotional power field, to our higher selves, to our guides, to the jaguar, the sacred spirit guide, to all of the guides that were here with us today. We thank you for this transformation and accept that it is real, that it is permanent. And from this moment forward, I can access, grow, learn, practice, and utilize the power of the pyramids. Namaste. I will see you tomorrow. Have a beautiful and blessed day.